Hey there. This is the Rugged Angel Podcast. I'm your host, Kahmeela, and this is episode 7. I'm looking at my calendar, and it says that today is the first day of spring, but I'm not buying it because I look out my window and I see snow. So I'm just starting to believe that winter is never going to end, and that this year, the 4th of July, will be celebrated on blankets of snow in 30-degree weathers. And so let's try not to think too much about that. Let's get into this episode. But before I do, I would like to please thank those who are already following, subscribing, and liking me on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes. But if you haven't, could you please scoot on over to Facebook and like Rugged Angel Productions, or scoot on over to Twitter and follow _Rugged Angel, or hop on over to iTunes and subscribe to Rugged Angel Productions and rate and review. And not only do you get this podcast on iTunes if you subscribe, no, you also get the Scandalized podcast, where we talk about scandal. You know, Olivia Pope, gladiators, and whatnot. And we also have the Down to Watch podcast, where we talk about film, music, and pop culture, and TV sometimes. So you'll get like 3 separate podcasts in one subscription. That's how much I love you. So let's get on with it. This episode of the Rugged Angel podcast is dedicated to Miss Bridgette Perdue. Now, Bridget is a Pittsburgh native, and she is a pop and R&B recording artist, singer-songwriter, and a teacher. She's very dedicated to impacting the world through her soulful and vibrant music, and I had a blast talking to her. She is adorable. She also is doing a fundraiser this weekend, March 21st, for her friend Tara McCreary, who is suffering. She's a cancer patient. And so all the proceeds to this fundraiser will go directly to her to help pay her bills and whatnot. And from what I hear, Tara is an extremely strong woman who is not only fighting this disease, but she's also struggling to, she's keeping her morale up as well as her family's. And so my prayers and heart go out to Tara and her family. She's a mom of 5. And she's also a Propel Schools employee. And so you guys, if you would like to attend this fundraiser, which is breakfast for dinner, and who doesn't like that? It's a fundraiser that's going to be full of entertainment for the whole family. You get breakfast for dinner, and there's going to be raffles and cash prizes up to $500. KDK TV's Dennis Bowman is going to be the master of ceremonies for the live entertainment. There's going to be balloon artists, face painting, puppetry, and games, and all sorts of fun stuff for the kids. And so just go on down there. You can get your tickets at moonlightbreakfast.eventbrite.com, or you can find Bridget on Facebook and send her a direct message. Or you can also go to Bridget's website. That's bridgetteperdue.com, BridgettePerdue.com. And also, if you go to Bridget's website and subscribe to her email list, you'll get a free song, which I think that's pretty awesome. So enough from me, and we're going to get into this episode with Bridget. And and also I just want you to all realize how blessed you actually are. Now let's get into the show. I guess we can get started here.
Okay.
Hello, Bridget.
Hi, Kahmeela. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Welcome to the Rugged Angel Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, because I couldn't do it without you being here.
Be a little one-sided, I suppose.
A little bit.
Right.
I mean, it's just me monologuing, and then nobody wants that. We don't really know each other. Like, we have been in the same area. We kind of travel in the same circles.
Right.
I think I first encountered you at Swan Day a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. And then you were so kind as to friend me one day on Facebook. And I think this is the first time that we are actually sitting down and interacting.
It's been too long. It's great. It's long overdue.
Exactly. And Addie was just here, Addie Twig.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
She was super stoked to learn that we were getting together.
Yeah.
So let's get this started.
Cool.
All right. Are you from Pittsburgh? Are you born and raised here?
I am born and raised in Pittsburgh. I grew up a little bit north of the city.
Okay.
And then I shortly moved into the city, so I'm kind of in the Oakland-ish area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been in the Oaklandish area?
Well, right now this is my second year here, so I guess it hasn't been like that long. But I've always like wanted to be in the city, so it's been great. And I lived in Mount Washington a few years prior to that. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Did you go to college here?
I did. I went to Point Park and I studied musical theater and sports art and entertainment management.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sports, art, and entertainment management.
Yeah, it's like
So,
business management with the arts focus.
right.
Yeah.
So, have you done anything more with that, or have you just decided once you graduated from college, you were like, I'm just gonna go more musical?
Well, after graduating, I feel like doing my singer-songwriting and just being I'm a full-time artist. So that is
Gotcha.
kind of my entrepreneurship. So I feel like I use both of my degrees just in my everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a full-time artist is just is harder more than just your regular 9 to 5 and managing yourself and getting all your own ducks in a row.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit more about that, about your musical career.
Sure.
Now, you're a singer-songwriter, and I know you play piano, and I've seen that you play ukulele.
A little bit, yeah. I did. I learned a song or two. Yeah.
When did you discover when did this musical gift come about to you? Like, when did you discover that this is what you wanted to do, and when were you pulled toward the music?
I would say I was just like always pulled towards music. I started playing the piano when I was 4, and my mom would
really?
teach me like Mary Had a Little Lamb and like Row Your Boat and different things, and Jesus Loves Me and all of that. And I would just sit at the piano for hours and just like teach myself things. Yeah. And just like always just had fun with it. And then I wrote my first song when I was like, I don't know, 11 or 12. And I had always just been songwriting, but I didn't really show anybody. It was just this thing that I just did, you know? And I had a piano teacher who like, I didn't tell anybody that I'd written songs. I had a piano teacher when I was in college that was like, and I know that there's songs in you and I want to hear them and da-da-da-da. And I was like, how does he know this about me? This is crazy. Like, I don't tell anybody. And then like slowly but surely, I was like, you know what? I just want to share with people the music that, you know, that God's given me, that, you know, has been in my heart. So it's kind of how it came about.
That's great. Are your family, are they musical as well? I mean, I know you said your mom taught you piano or would sit you down there. Do you have brothers and sisters? Or?
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I have 2 older brothers and 2 younger sisters, and all of us are very musical and very artistic. My younger sisters, Danny plays trumpet. Candace, who's Hotep, she plays, she did. She played the clarinet. My mom played the clarinet. My brothers like rap and sing and like break dance. My dad has sung in like the men's choir at church. So we've all been like in some field musical. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. And we would grow up, we would like spend our time, we would like videotape, yeah.
Yes.
MTV videos, right?
Yeah.
Even more throwbacks of how old I am. And we would like learn the like choreography from Aaliyah. And we would spend time like creating our own puppet shows and all of that. Like that's what we did as a family. That was our form of entertainment, was like
that's awesome.
Gathering around the karaoke machine and singing or dancing or whichever.
That's great.
Yeah.
When was your first time that you performed in front of other people? Outside of the family.
Outside of the family. I remember this one time when I was little. I was probably like 7 or 8. And I remember the Billy Graham Crusades.
Yes.
Back in the Three River Stadium.
Oh.
They had a Billy Graham Crusade, and they had all of these lights, and it was like Gonna Let My Light Shine. It was supposed to be all of these kids performing. And I was a light, and I had a little light bulb, and we sang Gonna Let My Light Shine. And I remember being in the stadium for that.
Oh, wow.
And that's probably my earliest memory of performing in front of like a large crowd. I mean, there were tons of people there. I was but a candle. So, you know.
But still, I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
I should put it on my resume.
I think you should.
I was a candle.
For Billy Graham's
For
revival.
the Billy Graham's revival, exactly.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
It to get me hired, I'll do it. I'll add it in.
So
Yeah.
speaking of, I guess, jobs, jobs, I know that you're a teacher.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And where do you teach?
I work as a teaching artist in different areas. Kind of an independent contractor, so
Okay.
people will hire me to do different projects for any length of time. So right now I'm at Propel Charter Schools, and every 12 weeks I rotate within their schools. And so right now I am teaching dance to 3rd through 8th grade. So I have
Oh,
3
wow.
classes that I work with them. And then after the 12 weeks, they put on this performance. And I do that through Stacy Pearl Dance Project.
That's adorable.
Yeah. And then I have entirely too many jobs. That's what you got to do. You got to hustle.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm the musical theater director for a kids theater company called Alumni Theater Company. And they are out of the Urban League Greater Pittsburgh Charter School in East Liberty. And they've done shows at the Kelly Strayhorn, at the New Hazlet. Just an incredibly talented group of 6th through 12th graders that I'm kind of the vocal coach for them. And then Pittsburgh Public Schools has hired me, this is the 3rd time actually, to be the spring musical director for their middle school.
Oh, wow.
So I'm at Colfax. That's why I like went from one rehearsal to a meeting to here today. So it's fun. It's just the life
Always
of an
busy.
artist. Yeah.
It's not a moment to rest,
Right.
which can be sad, but it also can be invigorating.
Yeah. I'm like, why do I like all of this activity? I just
Right.
like throw myself into different things. But it's really fun, and it's so much fun working with kids.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Like, I'm like, I asked all of them, why are you here? What about you being here is going to make this show at Colfax special and different?
That's a
Like, what
great
is
question.
your job? What is your role?
Yeah.
And so we went around the room. They said, my enthusiasm, my own swag, everybody had their thing. And I was like, I'm here to make you guys look as good as possible. I just want you to shine.
Yeah.
I want your talent to come through, and I'm like, I'm bringing my A game, so you got to bring your A game, but it's just cool. It's nice to see kids just rise to the occasion.
Yeah. Are these all kids that this is like, it's all voluntary, or are this like, okay, all the 6th grade class must participate, or?
A variety. So at Colfax, it's optional. They choose to be a part of it.
Okay.
And they're an incredibly committed group. They're there 3 times a week.
Oh, wow.
So, and we're rehearsing 3 times a week from now until our performance in May.
Oh, goodness.
So they know that they have a long road. And then at Propel, what I love about Propel is that creative arts is a right. It's not a privilege. So they have creative arts every single day.
Oh, wow.
In some form. Like, that's really passionate within the Propel curriculum. But you get these, 6th grade boys who could care less about dancing,
Right.
and you're like, come on, you can do it. So it's fun, and it's a nice challenge, connecting with kids who it's not necessarily their passion, but just getting them to buy into what they're doing and to grow and experience something different.
Right. Oh, wow. That's super cool.
Thanks.
Like, I wish that, do they, like you said, their show is coming up in May.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that open to the public, or is that?
Absolutely. You can, well, it's just tickets at the door, but it's at Colfax. There's nothing special. There's no real plug.
So you're going to need to go to Ticketmaster, and you're going to need a code.
Exactly.
You must win from Bridget.
Exactly. The ticket processing fee. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, they're just available at the door. It's May 15th through 17th. And I'm really excited to have them. We had 19 students last year, and we have 32 students this year.
Wow.
So
That's a big growth.
yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm like, God, give me strength. I'm going to do with these kids. No, they're great. They're awesome. Yeah.
Do you ever have like the moments where, because I was doing some teaching artist stuff with MGR.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
And I was doing teaching photography to like from 3rd, I believe, through high school.
Okay.
And I think when it started off in high school and we went down, and then I get to like maybe the 4th or 5th graders, and I was explaining something about negatives. and they all just kind of like gave me this blank look, like, what's a negative? What's
Wow.
film? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh. So you reach this moment where it's like, okay, now that was my moment. It was like, I have like, there's a big gap. I'm the different generation now. I'm most definitely,
Oh yeah.
I've switched over, and and even like the way kids talk these days, or
Oh, for
the way
sure.
they communicate, I have no idea. I never thought that I would ever get to that point. I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been moments with that, and I allow them. I'll say immediately too, like if I come up with a dance move, and the guys are like, "Well, that's too girly," I'll be like, "Well, then man it up." Like,
Yeah,
do
good
something
point.
different. Or, I'm like, I can't do the whip. I don't know. Like, teach me how to Dougie. No, I'm kidding. But I'll let them put that in their thing. So I try to um, allow them, like, let them bring their own individuality and their own way and their own sense of being able to relate to the material too. So that, it just kind of provides them to still feel within their comfort zone while they're exploring. But yeah, we'll do that too. We'll, okay, this is first position. Well, what are you talking about? Okay, well, this is how you make first position. This is plie. This is tendu. Sometimes we'll throw out those different terms just again so they have that exposure. But it's definitely a training ground too. And then it's interesting when you're like, how do these children not know what you're talking about?
Right.
Because to you it's so second
Right. Yeah.
nature. You're like, okay, let's back up. Let's figure this part out. Half the time we'll just be like, okay, I'm old. You do it. You just tell me. I'll just immediately say, I'm not cool enough for this. You are. Make it cool.
So you've been trained in ballet,
Somewhat.
and
Yes. Yes. I should say somewhat.
and what other forms of dance?
Ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, a little bit of like salsa, Latin, ballroom type.
Because I've seen clips of you performing. I think it was at the Kaufman or the Hill House, and you have such spunk. I love watching. Like, you have a great stage personality.
Oh,
I mean, you have a
thank
great
you.
personality in
Thanks.
general, but yeah, you have a great stage presence. And I saw you're like whipping around and like doing like all these different, like, you could see like everything that you just said, like all the dance moves were like in that 2-minute mark at that
Oh,
point.
thank you. Thank you very much.
So do you perform out often? Do we have a lot of shows where can we?
I do. I try to be more intentional with my shows, especially because I do so much like within the community and everything. When I do a show, I'm not the musician that like is touring and gigging every weekend doing something. But like every couple of months I do try to do like an intentional show. So coming up, I think like the big first one of that will be April. Oh gosh, 30th, April 30th. Or it's a Thursday, so that is 29th or 30th. I'm horrible with these plugs. This is bad.
Well,
Check out the
luckily they'll
profile.
make sure that we have a link to your website.
Exactly.
And that's where all the information is.
Right.
I believe it's BridgettePerdue.com.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, it's at the Pittsburgh Winery,
Okay.
30th. I was right.
April 30th.
Shouldn't have doubted myself. Yeah, April 30th. It's a 9 o'clock show. Doors open at 8, and it'll be myself, Hakeem Rashid, who is R&B soul guy. This girl from North Carolina, she's doing an Eastern tour. Arsena Schroeder, and she's coming in. She's got this great indie soul type, like India Ari meets Lauryn Hill type style. And then there's 3 of us, and there's another performer too. But yeah, it's at the Pittsburgh Winery. It's going to be a really awesome show. It'll be nice to hear kind of like a smorgasbord of some cool acoustic sounds.
So how do you describe your own music? What?
I say my music has the like wit, if you will, of Sarah Bareilles, and like kind of the imagery that she does with her lyrics. Let's say kind of marked with the soul of Alicia Keys or John Legend. So I call it pop with hints of R&B in it, but very much from a singer-songwriter storytelling perspective.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you set aside time to write often? Like, are you consistently writing, or is it more like when the mood strikes, when the inspiration hits you?
I think I have seasons. I'm sure you know you have seasons of like when you feel more
There's a lot of
creative,
ebbs
and then
flows.
and then once you get in that zone, you try to like really
Write it out.
capitalize
Yeah.
on it. You're like and then I will, if I'm writing, I'll try to write for as long as I can because I hate editing. Just trying to think of how to make a lyric stronger, or finding the right word to communicate things. But I would say that when I write, I most of the time it comes naturally. It's not really when I say I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write a song,
Gotcha.
that it's a good discipline for me to do, so I will do it. But I think sometimes organically is best for me. And on my phone, I have a list of just song titles. So if I hear someone say something, I'm like, that sounds cool. And I'll just write it down, and I'll just kind of marinate on different ideas. Right now, I was just flipping through one of my books, and one of the sermons that I had been listening to said something, and then they said, focus on the roots. And I had just written that down. And so right now I'm in the process of, I don't know what it's going to be, but I just started a couple days ago this song about how myself or other people, like, we try to make sure our nails are right, our hair is done up, got the best outfit, lose 10 more pounds, whatever it is, as opposed to focusing on the inside.
Right.
And just being honest about that. So that's kind of, I don't know, that kind of like answers how songs kind of come,
Sort of.
or like the process between it. Pretty organic, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally lost my train of thought. I was. So do you have a ritual that you go through, like once you've decided, like, are there things that you need, like when it's time to write? Is there a certain smell, like there are candles that you need to let? Is there a snack that you should have, or
Right.
is there?
No, but now I'm getting ideas. I'm like, yes, I must have peanut M&Ms in order to write. I write in pen. I never write in pencil because I will erase, and I don't want to erase because I don't want to edit. I just want to create, and then I will edit later. And I think sometimes when you try to edit while you create, it just impedes things. Try to just do things without judgment. So I write in pen. I do kind of have like a special book that it's like a little binder. It's a mini binder. It's like a 5x8 binder.
Okay.
They're very hard to find. And then finding the loose leaf paper for that is even more difficult. But I like that because it's much
really
easier
old
to
school.
carry around.
Yeah.
I can't write on a computer to write a song. That's
No,
like
I can't imagine that
craziness to me. But there are
No.
people that I know that do that.
I couldn't imagine.
It blows
doing
my mind.
I still can't take notes on a computer. Like I need to
Right.
I need to handwrite it.
It's just I am pretty old school when it comes to that. And sometimes I'm at the piano. I have to have my rhyming dictionary. I hate the online rhyming dictionaries. I'll use them. See, it's so old school, and I've bought the same rhyming dictionary 3 times now.
Really?
Like I type in the ISBN number and order it. It's so bad. And I have this like probably 1985 thesaurus that I use, and a very specific ballpoint pen.
Oh, I love it. So you do have a ritual.
I do.
You do have a process.
Yes, my utensils are very
Okay.
important to me. And then I'll record either with my phone or I'll record on my keyboard what it is. But it's really easy to erase on my keyboard, so most of the time I just use my phone. I'm not the most technically advanced. My flaws are coming out in this interview.
It's okay. You're in a safe space.
There you go. Exactly.
We're all friends here.
Right.
It's totally fine.
Yeah. It's great to like ask that question though, to really make you think about how you do what you do. And that's a huge benefit of teaching too. Cause like so many times as a performer, as a dancer, as a singer, you just jump into that role. But when you're teaching someone else, you have to think, okay, how do I actually make this happen?
Right.
And it makes you stronger at your own craft.
Exactly. And I was finding that difficult when I was doing, because that was like the first time that I was teaching anybody really like on like a professional level.
Sure.
It's just like, before that point, I was like, I'm a terrible teacher. Because it's just like things that I just do. It's like, you just do it. I mean, you just go from here to here and here, and that's how it's done. But yeah, you're right. You have to like really like dig in and think about it. Like if I'm coming at this from a complete novice standpoint, just ignore the fact that you've been doing it for X amount of years. Just trying to figure out how you got to this point and how's the best way to explain that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you find a difference with like the younger age group versus the older age group?
Yeah, it was well, first of all, like, besides the whole concept of film and negatives with the younger bunch, sure. I'm not really getting it. And it was like barely, the high school kids were like barely understanding it.
Right. It's even fuzzy to me. I'm like, yeah, negatives, but they're kind of like not positive. I just kidding. I should be in your remedial class.
So anyway, yes, it was a little, and also just like attention span.
Yes.
And it's not even, and I think I found the best attention span was like in the fifth and sixth graders.
Really?
Like the high schoolers, they're all too busy trying to impress each other or trying to see what everybody else is doing, that whole thing, and then their phones and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And the younger kids, they're just younger kids. But it was like fifth and sixth grade, they were really attentive, and I don't know, and we also like went to different schools, so I don't, like, it could just been like the teachers had a better grasp on them or
sure.
whatever, or for whatever reason, but yeah, it's just like attention span was like the biggest thing for me.
Cool. Yeah. That's
but
so interesting.
It's not about me. How did that happen?
I'm curious. I'm
okay,
learning
cool.
about other people's experiences. No, I think that's cool. And I think we have something in comen with the teaching. I'm almost like, what's your secret? How'd you do that?
I don't do it anymore.
And
so I noticed you also have a blog.
Yes.
Which I think is great. And one of your questions, you did have a post about someone asking you how you do what you do, how you keep yourself going. And I would like to pose that for those who haven't read it fully. And
sure.
I'd like to revisit that statement. Like, how do you go about, because full-time entrepreneurial artist.
Yeah.
I'm a part-time entrepreneurial artist, and there are times I'm just like, I just want to back off. I just want to, I find myself wishing that I would be satisfied with just having the regular 9 to 5 job and just being able to but I can't. Like, it's not in me. That's not the way I was raised, and I'm not going to be okay with that. Because it'd be so much easier if I were.
Right.
But, like, how do you keep yourself motivated and keep yourself, like, going back and back?
Right. It's funny because sometimes it's things like this, like this interview, because I'll be like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And then someone will ask you to be a part of a show or, something like this or this other opportunity. And with those moments, and they always seem to happen, these moments where I'm like, okay, Lord, like, are you sure this is what I should be doing?
Give me a
Because
sign.
I could just easily just like not have to deal with this. But I think oftentimes it ends up being like different moments like that. And I think you even hit on it too, is that when it's in you, it just is.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, like you said, there's nothing you really can do about it. And you can fight it. You can fight what's in you to do, or you can surrender to it. I think also, too, for me, I think sometimes I get in my head and sometimes I feel like my work isn't good enough, But by that same token, I think for me, what I try to realize is that what God has given me to do, He's given me stewardship over that. And if I don't do what He's called me to do, that's an insult to Him.
Exactly.
Because He's given it. And at the end, it's really not about me.
Right.
And I think sometimes I get in my head and I'm like, oh, well, that last performance sucked or whatever it is. And at the end of the day, it's not even about that. My gift isn't for me. It's for other people. Right. And I think if I take myself out of it and just bring myself into it, but allow it just to be like used through me, you know what I mean? And if it helps someone or, encourages, then that's what it's cool. I think that's the biggest thing. And I think just having a supportive people. I feel like sometimes being an artist, it feels lonely, and it also feels like you have to keep up appearances.
Yeah.
And that is so hard. Sometimes I'm just like, one day they're going to figure this out. going to be like the Oz. It's just going to be
Right.
Richard Pryor in the background like, I got nothing for you. You know? And it's like, how do I continue posting on Facebook or doing whatever? Or if I do post about something good, is it arrogant? Is it whatever? And it's like, I don't know where the rest of my thought was. I just thought about Richard Pryor. But
He's a fake, a phony.
But feeling like this, you know, feeling like it's imposter. But what I was going to say is like the support of other people. When you realize everyone else is thinking that same way and everyone else is just trying to create art and just trying to do the very best of what they have and what they've been given. And, you know, when people are honest and they're transparent in those conversations, then it's good, you know? And I think like even that blog post was hard for me to write because part of me is like, now I'm admitting that sometimes I don't want to do this. And what does that mean? And then, you know, but like I felt such freedom from writing that too, because, you know, everyone has those moments. And I think when we are vulnerable and transparent like that takes true strength. And I think there's more respect that comes from it. You know what I mean? Like, I love it when I can hear somebody else. It's the stories where people are like, you know, I did want to quit. I did want to give up, but I did it anyway. That motivates me much more than someone saying, like, boasting on all of their... Yeah, exactly. You're like, no, it ain't. I know.
Lies.
Yeah, lies. And this one quote from Jim Carrey, I found it again. I was like, oh, that's such a good quote. Did I post that? I did. I had posted it. I'm like, I can't believe I did that. And then forgot about it. Right. If Jim Carrey said, it's possible to fail at doing something you don't want to do. So why not pursue the thing you want to do? Huh. Yeah. Right? It's deep.
That's great. Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? That's so true.
It's like, yeah. That is.
You could fail anyway.
Right. You might as well go down doing something that you want to be doing.
Right. I was listening to this one guy talk, and he was talking about how he was scared to drive and scared to get his driver's test and everything. And his dad, like, basically put him in the car. He's like, where are we going? So you're going to get your test. And he was like, dude, he was so worried about, like, getting lost and everything. And he's like, I'm in the sticks of South Carolina, and here I am afraid of, like, getting lost. Like, there's ain't but, like, Main Road and First Street. Like, there's nothing going on.
You go left or you go right.
Exactly. You got one stoplight. You will be just fine. But his dad was like, well, if you fail the test, you're not driving anyway, so what's the difference?
The truth.
You know? And I think so many times we're so scared to just get up to the plate and swing, and you'll never know what could be. So I just try to remember. Just do it anyway.
Yeah. I think that's something that I have slowly been getting a better grasp on within, like, the last few years. And I was actually just talking about this to somebody the other day, where I need to learn to step outside of myself. Like, there are so many times where I have started a project or started an art project or something, and then I get caught up in, is it going to be good enough? Is there anybody else going to be interested? Am I going to continue to be interested in it? And then I just stop right there. Like, I don't get over that hurdle, that initial hurdle. And they were just like, you know, imagine how many awesome and wonderful things that you have bypassed because you didn't get past that one spot. You were, like, stuck in that area. And it's just like, yeah, I'm done with second guessing myself. And then, you know, like I said, I get this feeling sometimes a bit that I am an imposter, that I'm just coming through and someone's going to put the curtain back. Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, you know, it's just little old me, a little girl from Toledo.
Right. And the truth is we all are. Yeah. We all are that just random Joe Schmo. Like, it's just, it's totally,
just a matter
totally
of
true.
Making sure that we use our God-given talents and put them and share them for the world to see. And there's always going to be somebody that doesn't feel you, that's not getting what you're putting out there. But for that one person, there'll probably be 10 that do.
Right. I was watching some YouTube video, and it had like 9,000 thumbs downs on it.
Oh, God.
And I was like, what I wouldn't do for 9,000 thumb downs. You know what I mean? That'd be the best thing ever. 9,000 people took the time to say they didn't like something after hearing it.
Right.
That would just make my day. I think too, I give myself if I give myself my own deadline, it's not easy. But if there's someone else that I know that is counting on me, or if I already have set a date,
right.
One of my mentors said, you put the cart before the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, I don't have a band together. She's like, book the date, you'll find a band.
Right.
You'll make it happen if you have a date.
Right.
You'll you know what I mean? So I put those types of concrete things there because it does. And I think one of the hardest things about being an artist is there's nobody saying, okay, you need to get up 2 hours early before you have to go teach these kids and work on your music.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's saying you do that. But if I don't show up on time for these kids, then there's someone that's going to be like, where were you?
Exactly.
And I think having that, I actually have an accountability partner. She actually lives in London, but she also does music too. And so we'll Skype every once in a while and say, how are you doing with your goals? And I'll say how I'm doing with mine. And now we're friends and we just end up conversing about everything. But it's awesome still too. But I think just having those people in your life that'll say like, okay, have you been writing? Where's your next step?
Yeah.
Did you record? Did you book? Did you book a date to be in the studio? You know, oh, my song's not ready. If you book a date to be in the studio, you'll be ready by that time comes. I think setting those deadlines that are immovable, for me at least, keep me going.
Oh yeah, that's very helpful. And you're right. If I'm just left to myself and my own devices, like, oh yeah, you should do this.
Trivia
like,
crack all day. Ask me how I know.
Yes. So basically, I need somebody else to check me and tell me, yeah, I need a date to be accountable to someone else. So tell me about the Uncommon.
Sure. Yeah, Uncommon was a concert that I did in November. And the idea was that, I don't know, what was the idea? That we're all different. There's something about us that makes us special and unique. And by embracing that weirdness about us, that's truly where our beauty lies. That's where our strength is. And so for this show, I wanted to do a bunch of things that were outside the box, incorporate a lot of people. I had a guest rapper. Like you said, I played the ukulele. I rapped.
Nice.
My sister, Hotep, the artist, her name is Candace, she did a spoken word piece that I played djembe to.
Okay.
I had a 9-year-old. My nephew came and sang a song with me. We did a little duet. So everything was just kind of like different. It was just a way to engage and had different surprises throughout the event. Just to celebrate being different and doing things outside the box. One song that I had written, I had another person sing, and I danced like a lyrical dance to it the whole time. And it was really, really fun. I actually want to do another performance of that again, I think, when I actually release my album, my second album.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And when is your plan? When are plans to release?
You know, I got to set some deadlines so that it happens, Kahmeela.
So, what about your first album? When was that released, and how many?
2012, too long ago.
That's not so bad.
It's not so bad.
No,
I feel like
it's
3 years.
It's like barely 3 years. Like it's just now 2015.
I suppose. Okay, that's fine. I will accept that. I won't be hard on myself. But yeah, no, it came out, and I was so blessed to do it at the August Wilson Center as my CD release party.
Awesome.
And it's great. It's 9 tracks, all Pittsburgh musicians. It's on Spotify, iTunes, and it's called Enjoy This Moment. And just really just about enjoying the moment and just like pursuing what you want in life. That's just like what my overall passion is.
Yeah.
Just to try to encourage people, you know, it's up to you to do what you really want out of your life. We all have the same 24 hours. What are you going to do with it? So that's kind of the overarching message in my music, and I would say in that debut album too.
Is that the Real Thing on that album? I actually listened to a couple of your tracks today, and I really like Real Thing. I like that one a lot. And yeah, and there's like such a great energy and positivity in your music that I really enjoy.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And then hopefully you do the uncommon again, because I would like to see that.
Yeah, I think it would be really fun to do again. Maybe like in the summer or something.
Yeah.
Got to book a date.
Book a date, and then
Yeah.
everything else will fall into place.
Everything else will fall into place. It's so true.
And you were just highlighted on QED,
Yes.
and that aired already, but it is online, correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
And so yeah, you guys should check that out, because it's very insightful piece about Miss Bridget
Thank you.
on WQED.
Yep, WQED. The online link is wqed.org/Pittsburgh360.
Okay.
And then that was just this past Thursday, the 19th. It's myself and two other artists were on that feature.
Yes.
It was kind of fun. I watched it with my parents at home, and my dad's on the phone with this other guy, and he's like, "Turn to channel 13." He's like, "What? Channel 13? Huh? WQED?" I'm like, "Dad, you have to leave the room. Like, this
It's
is
on right now.
too much."
It's like a 15-minute segment, and I'm here. I just need you to.
I love you so much, but I don't know, y'all. And I called myself old, but I loved it. And he was so cute because, you know, both my parents were like, they're like, did you text cousin Ralph? Did you, you know, like, did you tell everybody that you're on and stuff? So I'm so grateful for the support of just my family. They're, incredible. My parents and just my immediate family and, you know, so many friends. And I think that that's such a huge factor. I mean, I can tell your husband's incredibly supportive of what you do.
Yeah, talk about someone holding you accountable for things. Yes, he'll definitely, hey, shouldn't you be writing something up there? Or like my Swan Day project.
Yes.
I am fretting and sweating over that.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
I'm glad you said that. Can I get on that one?
Yeah. So that's another thing that I do have a deadline, concrete deadline at. And I was the same place last year, like maybe like 2 weeks beforehand, just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But yeah, so yes, my husband is very supportive, and my mom, she doesn't live here in town, but my mom and sister, my mom's basically the one who made me this way. So she's
cool.
like extremely supportive, and she's like, the first entrepreneur that I knew, and so she taught me the artist lifestyle essentially, and
That's awesome.
we did the whole. I was part of a group that she started called the Positive Force Performers.
Oh, cool.
And we sang, danced, rapped, and acted out positive messages to our peers. We would perform at churches and schools and festivals.
I need to see some video of this. I need to see. I'm sure there's some VHS.
There's definitely VHS. And for whatever reason, my mom decided to put those VHS tapes and digitize them and put them on YouTube. Okay. So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
We're
going to be doing some Googling tonight.
Specifically, Jamillion, Jamillion was my rap name.
Okay.
My middle name is Jamil, and it's me. I think like 8th grade doing Kumo D's. I go to work.
Nice.
So.
Oh, that's classic. That's cool. Yeah, and QED, I was like, they definitely have some baby pictures up there. Definitely.
Do you find it difficult to watch yourself?
I was nervous the entire time watching myself. Like, more nervous. Like, I get nervous a little bit before a show, like probably like 2 minutes before I go on, and then it's not really there afterwards. But I was nervous like the whole day before seeing it, and kind of nervous watching it. But it was cool. It was humbling, and it kind of felt like that wasn't me. Like, I mean, it felt like it was me, but like, it was so impressive to me, but like almost as an outsider,
right.
like this, like I'm just watching somebody, like some stranger, like that's so cool, but it's actually me. It probably sounds so weird,
it's humbling yet boisterous about
I guess, and I think too probably because like we as artists, like or at least myself, I'm really quick to downplay, Like, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, I'm doing this thing on QED, whatever. And people are like, that's huge, right. And I'm like. It's okay, but like we're so quick to just be like, oh, it's nothing. It's not
a big deal. They asked me to do it. It's not a big deal.
Right. And then when you struggle with all of this like insecurity, like, is my work even good enough? Like, but seeing that, it was this moment where it was like, Bridget, you're not as bad as you think you are. You know what I mean? And that was really cool to see, because I think, when you're in it, you don't see the daily progress because you're in the trenches doing it. And then when you have a moment like that, it's like, okay, you do like look like you know what you're doing when you're on stage,
Right.
like that rehearsal when those piano lessons paid off. Like it's so, I hope that doesn't sound crazy, but
No. It's like, I totally get it, because like you said, you're looking at it. It helps because you were kind of looking at it like from an outsider's point of view. So you take a moment and you're like, forget that's you. And it's like, oh, what I'm here, this person, they're pretty impressive. Like,
exactly.
all those accomplishments, my goodness. Like,
I know.
look at her go.
Yeah.
So it is helpful.
Yeah, I just couldn't even believe it that they had like got this random email. It was like WQD. I was like, yeah, this ain't even real. And it was like, who would have thought? God's good. That's all I can say.
Yes, He is.
Yeah.
So you have another, you have a fundraiser coming up?
I do.
And tell us about that.
Sure. So my friend Tara McCreary is right now at stage 4 breast cancer. She's a mother of 5, and we got to know each other through Propel when I was a visiting artist at her school at Braddock Hills. And just the situation with, cancer is obviously so costly, and with her not being able to work anymore, we really, us at Propel and just a lot of people who just love her, wanted to put together a fundraiser to help her. And so it is this few Saturdays from now, Saturday, March 21st, from 5:30 to 8:30 at Propel Braddock Hills High School, which is right in the heart of Braddock Hills. It's right on Yost Boulevard. And it's a very family-friendly event. So we're doing like a breakfast for dinner type thing.
Nice.
So, pancakes, cereal bar, toppings,
Nice.
and all that fun stuff, with different raffles, like major giveaways from like, sporting team tickets to massages to restaurants, a bunch of different things, just to really show support for this woman who has been such a fighter. And she's a great friend, and she's just such a loving and caring person. And to see the Propel community and just the East Pittsburgh community just really rally behind her just really gives a lot of credence to who she is, So I'm just honored to be a part of the team that's going to help her. But I'll probably sing or play or do something. As part of they're doing like ongoing entertainment.
Nice.
So it'll be good.
So for folks who can't make it out but would like to still contribute or donate, is there somewhere online that can be done, or?
Absolutely. It's GoFundMe.com/Tara McCreary1. So GoFundMe.com, like fund, FUND, and Tara is TARA, McCreary, MCCREARY, 1, number one.
I'll make sure to put links and stuff.
Thank you.
No
I
problem.
appreciate that.
'Cause it's really, she's in my prayers.
Oh,
so.
thank you. I was over her house the other day and helping her son with his homework, and so they're just such a great family, and it's just really nice to be, it makes you feel good being able to help and be able to give back,
Right.
because it's a sad situation, but I'm again, it's also really inspiring just to see so many people rise to the occasion and help her.
And there's still, in this troubling time, there's still amounts of strength there. And oh my goodness. Okay, so all right, so here's a nice little question here. What is one thing that people would be surprised to know about you?
One thing that people would be surprised to know about me. Wow, I don't know, because I'm like such an open book. I am. Well, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, I'm a girly girl. Yeah, I know. People know that. That's pretty obvious.
Next.
Right, Talkative. Yeah, we got that down. I love to cook.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Is there a particular style of food that you like to cook, or?
No, I just kind of like look and see what I have in my fridge and then just try to like match it up with something that's like online.
It's like, yep, close enough.
Yeah, pretty much. I like earlier this week I made banana bread muffins and like my own icing and stuff.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's fun. Yeah. And I've been really into making this chicken pot pie soup because it's so cold out.
Yeah.
Just like really good. You
That
make
sounds
like
delicious.
the crusts. Like, you make like little discs of crust and then you break it up and actually put it in the soup and then it tastes like chicken pot pie. It's really fun.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and I bought a rolling pin for it. Also special. Like, you really come up in the world. Bought a rolling pin.
Ooh,
Don't
girl,
tell me
you
nothing.
Fancy. You fancy? You got a rolling pin and stuff.
Yeah, that's how I live my life. But yeah, I guess, that part.
Bridgette Perdue balling since 2015.
I did. I invested. I got a rolling pin. And that's how you also know that you're old. That's like, you know what I mean? When you're like sized about a rolling pin.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah, you're old.
Oh, God.
And matching plates when you get like things like that.
Girl, yeah. I just, my birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you. I turned 39.
Congratulations. I cannot believe that. That is crazy.
Thank you.
Me. Yes. Hashtag Black Don't Crack.
Oh, yeah. And yes, there are a lot of, like, I've had a rolling pin for probably 5 years now.
No, there you go. See?
I mean, not to toot my own horn.
Right.
But
No, you can. Toot away.
we have so many kitchen gadgets. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that's, I've been seeing like a slight shift in my Amazon wish list from like, DVDs and toys and stuff to things like plates and, dinnerware and, oh my goodness, a throw. That would be great. And like curtains. Oh my God. Like I bought curtains downstairs.
Right.
Like maybe a few months ago, I was so stoked when when they got here, and then like the pillows, like the accent pillows I had too, like they matched perfectly.
Right.
And then, yeah, it was just a whole. I was like, I am so old. I'm such an adult right now.
And then the thing is too, is like I remember like my mom or like my aunt being like, my aunt showing my mom or something like that, like, look at these curtains, look at this, and they'd like be so excited. I'm like, are you serious right now?
Just curtains.
Like, I just want like a caboodle, like, why are we really excited about some throw pillows? I don't understand.
I don't know what happened.
And now I see.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I see. Yeah.
It's like, and I don't know, it was just like one day I was like, we need curtains. And I mean, like I had gone my whole life. It was like, it was just one day, just immediately, it's like, we need curtains. And before that point, I was like blind to the whatever. It's like, oh, we've got blinds. It's fine. Nobody can see in here. I don't care. But now I want my curtains to match my pillows.
It makes a difference.
Oh, wow. All right. So we are going to take a break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back with your top 5.
Awesome.
So, Rugged Angel Productions has made some internet friends over at inherglam.com. This is a great website with blog posts and YouTube videos on beauty, fashion, fitness, TV, and food. They also have podcasts on Arrow, Revenge, Hit the Floor, and Scandal. And while you're there, you can go ahead and make sure to check out the Glam Chick shop for female empowering swag. Now swing on over to inherglam.com and show the ladies some love. That's inherglam.com, INHERGLAM.com. Your one-stop site for all things fashion, glam, and life-related. All right, we are back, and we're going to get into the top 5. And Bridget's top 5 assignment was female singer-songwriters.
Yes.
Are you ready with your list?
I am. First on my list is Natasha Bedingfield. She's a UK artist who wrote the song Unwritten, but she has like so many awesome hits. You have to look. This one song she has is called I Want to Have Your Babies, and it is like, you just have to see the YouTube. And it's just so funny. It's just about like our girls' minds, like how we meet somebody in the grocery store and all of a sudden like there's like a child like in the stroller in the buggy or whatever. It's hilarious. She's awesome. But I love Natasha Bedingfield. I think Alicia Keys is just still brilliant with what she does, and she's just been really good at having a really good commercial sound, but still being like true to who she is.
Right.
You know, she's very pop, very modern, but like I mean, and her ability to collab with anybody is just super on point. I love Sarah Bareilles. I actually got to meet her this one time.
Really?
She came last year to the music, the Homestead.
Oh, the
music.
library?
Yeah. And was there. And I waited backstage, like, or outside. And then the security guard's like, "You're never going to meet her." Was like, "Dude, I'm going to stand here until you tell me that I'm really not going to meet her." And other people believed them and they walked away. And I was like, well, then I'll just be wrong and I'll waste half an hour. I don't care.
Right.
And I met her and I got a picture and she signed my ticket and she was so sweet.
That's awesome.
I just love what she does. I love her authenticity. You know, she's like, "I can do this. Me and piano, we can do this."
Yeah,
And
I really got into her a lot lately.
Yeah.
I like that King of Anything. I love that song.
Yeah, it's good. She's so sassy in her lyrics too, and that's fun. She's got a song "Little Black Dress On," which is fun. Wait, is that 3? Natasha, Alicia, Sarah. I love India Arie. I love her, like her voice, but then also her voice, what she has to say.
Yeah.
And I think she speaks so well about like Black society and culture and community.
Yes.
And she just does it so well with such poise. But she has such a powerful voice and point of view. And I just love what she does. And then she's been out of the game for a while, but I still think like Lauryn Hill, just with like the Miseducation, like, I mean, saying type thing. I mean, I fell in love with her at Sister Act.
Right.
Like, I was like, "Oh my goodness, Mom, can you please braid my hair like Lauryn Hill from Sister Act 2?
God, that's still like Addie and I were just that came up with Addie. That point too, and it's like that moment when she was singing. When she sang, I forget what the song was now, in the church.
Eye on the Sparrow.
Yes. Good Lord.
I know.
Just like, oh my God. Yeah, that was the moment. And I was like, oh, and then it took me a minute to realize, like, oh, Fugees, this is the same.
Right. Ready or not. Like, all put together for sure. Yeah, super, super talented.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a pretty good list. I'm down.
Cool.
Okay, well, India Arie also made it on mine.
Cool.
Because I do like I Am Not My Hair is
Yes.
just like it's a theme song. It's just how many times has it just gotten me out of like a funk. Just like, all right, we're not gonna deal with this anymore. We're just gonna put a hat on and be fine. Tori Amos.
Okay. Yeah.
I really, really like her. I like I think From the Choir Girl Hotel, I think is the name of the album that I really like.
I'll have to. I mean, I've heard like bits and pieces of her, but I'll check that out. Yeah, like I haven't like delved into Tori Amos.
It's really.
You know?
I would start with that one, the Choir Girl Hotel, and I did see her live, and my God, what an amazing live show!
That's awesome.
She does. She's just like killing the piano. It's just like her. She's like this crazy like animal on it. Poe. She only had like 2 albums, and this was like she had some weird tie up with her record label. Like I forget which ones it was, but like 2 record labels. She had a contract with one, 2 of them merged, and then her contract got like put in limbo, and so she hasn't released anything since like I want to say like 2000.
What's her style?
It's kind of like a electronic. It's really hard to put down because she's got this beautiful voice, and this last album she did, it was produced digitally, and so instead of like in a studio, and so it's kind of electronic, but it's got like this, like there's these moments where it's just this beautiful ethereal type.
Yeah.
And the last album she got her inspiration from an old box of audio tapes that she found of her deceased father talking, and like there's bits and pieces of that on here, and like there's songs called Haunted and Hey Pretty, and it's just really hard for me to describe what it is. I guess it's kind of like, I'm terrible at like genre-tizing music. It's not pop. It's like a little bit heavier than pop.
Okay.
And so I mean, her lyrics are pretty good, and I don't know. I just really I really enjoy her. I think she had like the first one was Trigger Happy. No, I'm thinking of something else. But anyway, Poe, Poe.
Oh,
You should
okay,
probably
cool.
look her up.
I shall.
Let's see, Tori, Poe, India. This was difficult for me to like break this list down. Fiona Apple.
Okay.
I really liked her title and that When the Pawn blah 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 album came out. I think she's really I mean, I'm assuming like her real life she's kind of probably a kook, but I like her. I love her lyrics.
Yeah.
She does well with the kind of angry chick, but not overbearing. Not like that bitch.
Yeah, it's kind of that rebellious, like defiant
Yeah.
in a way, renegade. Type.
Yeah, but it's not in a disrespectful manner. It's just more like, I know who I am. Maybe you should know who you are, kind of thing.
Right.
Before we get together. And Estero is another one, and she's also another one, kind of like Poe, but her album, I believe it's called Lounge, and it's just like a little more jazz and it's like electric lounge-ish type thing, and she's got this beautiful voice, and I accidentally found her, like I was watching like Miss Congeniality or something, and she had a song Wicked Little Girls on there, and that was like her second album but I like looked it up, found out who she was. That album was good, you know. She's got like, she does a little spoken word in there in that second album, but that first one is what really is just amazing. Like I love everything about it. And I believe it's called Lounge, and you should look that up. Estero.
I love this because now this again, me being old, but Spotify I'm getting better at, so now I can check all of that stuff out.
Yes. And I could probably just send it to you. I'll send you a couple of the links on Spotify.
Thanks.
And because I think that it sounds like you'd probably dig them, especially Estero.
I would love
Poe
to.
might be a little more.
You can send someone on Spotify? See? I'm learning. I am learning. Who knew? That's crazy. That's so much fun.
That's awesome. And what do we learn today, Bridget? That send stuff on Spotify.
Right. Oh, one other thing too. I mean, this is just so random that I thought of just now. But I have free music available.
Oh, okay.
And I have like 3 free songs as a download. And if you go to bridgetperdue.com/free song, and I believe both the F and the S in free are capitalized.
Okay.
If you enter in your email address, you'll get the download of the song. And then also you get like my monthly newsletter. It just keeps people, updated on when my next show is and, other fun things I want people to know about me,
So basically everything we need to know to find out about you is on bridgetperdue.com.
Yes.
You'll get free music. You'll get access to your blog. You'll get some emails. If you sign up for the newsletter, you get to find out when you have a show coming up in April, and you have one in May. What's your the children?
Yes.
In May. And March is the fundraiser. Correct?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's
You're going to be pretty busy for a while. And then Swan Day.
I know, and I'll be Swan Day the week before.
Right.
Yeah.
Which probably when this airs will already happened. But
sure. It was awesome.
It was great. So Wasn't it a good time? You were wonderful. You looked amazing.
You did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Seriously. So talented. OMG.
So guys, go to bridgetperdue.com. Are you on Twitter?
I am. And let me spell Bridget because it's difficult for some reason. I don't know. My parents were creative. But it's Bridge with the TTE, and it's PERDUE. So people tend to leave off the TTE, and they'll spell it PUR, but it's PER, like the chicken.
Oh, yeah. College. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because I think that's where I started. I was like, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
Okay, so follow Bridget on Twitter.
Yes.
Go check out her website and try to find her on at a show or download her music.
Yes, and I will follow you back if you follow me.
Awesome.
It'll be fun.
We'll follow each other.
Yes.
We'll be Twitter buddies. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you. This was awesome.
This. Yes, I had a great time.
You are remarkable.
Oh,
Thank you.
You're remarkable.
Thank girl.
Thank you. This has been a Rugged Angel production.